Notts County Talk. It's finished Notts County 3, Chesterfield 0. There's quite a lot to talk about. The first thing I want to talk about isn't really too football related, so I'm going to go off for the scoreboards. Unbelievable.
You just didn't expect, like, they're just so nice.
I know.
They're so bright.
It's not National League, is it?
I wasn't used to it.
Yeah.
And it's nice that we've got 2 now.
Yeah.
So everyone can see them.
Yeah, maybe a bit too bright, I think, at times.
It's been a long time waiting.
Yeah.
And I'm glad that they've actually sorted it out, because they said from the start, the owners, that that's something they wanted to implement, and it's something the fans asked them, so they listened and they've done it.
Yeah, fair play to the fan as well, that he won the 10,000 in the Lifeline draw. And donated half of it, yeah? So
which is
a lot of money, isn't it?
It's generous, because £10,000 to let anyone, just average person working, it's a massive sum of money. So for him to donate it, it's an incredible thing to do. It's so generous of him.
Moving on to the game, so much to talk about. We'll start with the goals. Enzio's first goal, Wharton got 2 again. I mean, Enzio, what a strike, wasn't it?
Enzio's goal was an absolute screamer, but do you know when he gets into that position, you can see him and he runs up and he starts to wind up and he gets that pace. You just know he's going to let it go, and it just always hits the top bin, and it's always just an incredible strike. Yeah. It's just one of those ones that the keeper's just never going to stop. And he pulled out of the bag. BT Sport again, to score on there. It's good for him. It would do his confidence well as well.
Making a name for himself on BT Sport, definitely. Yeah. Kyle Roberts, it was his debut at Meadow Lane today. Yeah. Great player.
Yeah, it's the first time I've seen him play. Yeah. And he's just really exciting. There was a part in the first half where he picked the ball up on one side of the pitch, and he literally just weaved in and out every single one of their players. And he's just got that kind of skill about him as a winger, just to keep the ball, even though he's not physically dominating, but he's just got the feet, and you can tell he's really up for it, and he got really stuck into the game, which was nice to see. And he also got the assist for Kyle's first goal. And it just looks like a really exciting prospect. Yeah,
the thing I liked about him as well is quite defensive. If he made a mistake, he was willing to run back. Even when we were 3-0 up, he made a mistake and he sprinted back to try and resolve the error. From a player at any level to do that for me, it's
a
very
real
good.
urgency. It shows that he wants to play and that he wants to be on that pitch and that he's actually playing for his shirt and he really wants to be there. And it's something that I think all the players should have, which they do now, but you wouldn't have seen that last year. And it's just a quality that you have to look for in a player. So Neil's done really well there with actually signing him. It's a great signing.
I think this season it's just so positive. You've got Kyle Wharton, young player, another prospect. I say Kyle Roberts, another prospect. I mean, you could even maybe say Kelly Evans in there as well. Yeah. For us to be making signings like that instead of signing players towards the end of their career, such as maybe a John Steads, great player, but it's an investment and it's a player that could have a long career. So another positive point, I think.
Seeing as Notts are looking to get promoted, you don't really want to be signing these players at the end of their career, because you want to build a team that gets promoted, then you can just add to it. You don't want to have to form a new team every year. So having the young players and signing them on early and keeping them on permanent basis just means that you've got that foundation to develop and grow as they get promoted, hopefully this year.
Hopefully.
I was a bit worried for Kyle Wharton, because after he had all that drama with signing, and it was a while till he actually signed, it was going through, and then he hadn't scored since. So I was just sort of thinking, that kind of put a curse on him, stopped him, but then he got a brace today, so just seeing he's back in fine form. Yeah,
we literally said about 2 minutes before he scored, he's been so quiet since he signed, but then he goes and plucks out 2 goals. Great assist from Kyle Roberts as well. I mean,
it was a great ball in.
Yeah, you can't help but be happy from today's result. No. I mean, we needed goals. We've had 2 games now where we've not scored, so I think it's going to give a massive boost to the team.
Especially in the local derby, it just gives them more that energy to go on into the next game and just carry on performing.
Yeah, I mean, credit to Chesterfield fans. I know it goes against the grain of being a Notts fan, but obviously I think they're having a bit of financial problem at the moment, aren't they? So you can kind of sympathise for them in a way. Do you know what I mean?
It must be difficult, obviously, having to watch that, being 2-0 down at about 60 minutes and going 3-0 down, and your club's not really got that support around them. It kind of just probably feels how it did last year with Notts, where it's all the uncertainty. But I never leave a football match early, 4-0 down, 5-0 down. You've paid. You've paid, you've travelled, you've probably booked your train for after the game. Where are you going? Just stay and watch.
Yeah, one of my final points, Fitzsimmons. Now, coming into this game, for me personally, I wasn't feeling very positive about him being in goal, because there was talks of him wanting to go back to Chesterfield. And then when I saw that they got the penalty and he saved it, I just thought, what a save. It wasn't the best penalty, but then he pulled out a save at the end of the game as well, where it's going top corner. And,
that was a great save with one hand. Yeah. I think there's been a lot of doubts with him, especially on social media, of people just kind of putting him down just because he has been a second choice, and probably people thinking that he wouldn't be up for it because he has been on loan at Chesterfield. But today he went out there and proved himself, and he showed that even against Chesterfield, he can do it, and he should be number one goalkeeper somewhere. So I'm glad that he got the opportunity to play today, because his head must have been all over the place. Like 1 minute he was at Chesterfield, then he was getting recalled, then he's got to play against Chesterfield. The players he probably trained with this week, like he's got to play against them. Like it's not, probably wasn't fair on him, but
it probably helped him save the penalty.
Yeah, he probably knew what they were going to go.
Yeah.
But no, I think he was a real professional today and kept it cool and did what he had to do. And he was great save, especially from the couple of headers and hit the bar, and he tipped a lot of over. So yeah, I think he did really well.
Yeah, just a general great team performance today, wasn't it?
Yeah. You can't. I think Enzio was man of the match, but I think there was a lot of close contenders for him.
4.
Yeah, I think
Kyle Roberts could have got it.
Kyle Roberts, Fitzsimmons.
Kyle Wharton could have for his 2 goals.
It's good to see Jim back out there as well.
Yeah, I mean another player that played very well.
Yeah.
Maybe a candidate for man of the match, but you know.
You can see glimpses of the old Jim. It just needs to get his match fitness, I think, back up, because you can tell like he wants to do everything, but he's just probably gaining himself back up a bit.
Exciting to see him back, isn't it? Holly, thanks for joining us.
Thank you very much.